So today we'll discuss the ideas around ethics and technology. And I think this will pose more questions or offer you a time of reflection. And as you saw in the previous TED Talks from Amber Case about cyborgs, one of the main concerns that I have, like Case does, is that do people actually have time for self-reflection as we are bombarded by media constantly? We're constantly have this online presence. We're constantly on our cell phones. When do you actually have time to think and reflect? Do you have time to think and reflect when you're in the shower? Do you have time to think and reflect when you're driving, when you're running? And when you're driving and thinking and reflecting, is that actually safe? Because I guess you should be thinking about highway safety. So it appears that technology and ethics are developing at different rates. So we are sending and acquiring information and sending and acquiring products quickly, but then we're having less time for ethical reflection. And it's really challenged our ethical reasoning. So there's two quotations here from some famous people. Really want you to think about here. First one's Einstein, and he said it has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity. Think about that. Have you seen the group Anonymous? So they're a group of cyber hackers, and now they are going after ISIS targets, and they're trying to disable ISIS's communication, social media. Part of me thinks that's kind of cool, but I don't know. Does cyber hacking, which is really a crime, should it be considered cool or progressive? I struggle with that. Second quote is from Robert Oppenheimer, and he was one of the inventors of the atomic bomb. And he said, when you see something that is technologically sweet, you go ahead and you do it, and you argue about what to do it after you've had your technological success. So often we have undesired consequences of technology. And I guess if we look at historically, we created the wheel. And as that evolved into transportation, an undesired consequence of that is that we became less active, we became more obese because of we're not using our legs to transfer ourselves. Look at the art of writing or printing. And Plato said this, and I talked about this before, the art of writing things down was the first step towards memory loss. And how good is your memory right now? Do you rely on your smartphone contacts for phone numbers? Do you actually remember anyone's phone number? If I lost my smartphone, I'd be in trouble. So some of the undesired consequences of technology. Let's take the site Ask FM or Yik Yak or RateMyTeachers.ca. So these sites were intended, I guess in theory, to provide anonymity so that people could get things off their mind. They could get anonymous feedback, or allow you a forum to say whatever you want, to judge people in an effort to educate people about choices they make. So in terms of, let's take a look at ratemyteacher.ca. So this is a site that rates teachers in Canada. I guess it started with professors, and university students were rating professors, and this helped students pick the courses that they wanted to take. I guess that seems fair enough. So now it's evolved to rate high school teachers. I'm not sure. I mean, my ratings, if you search for me, are okay. That might change, I guess, with feedback from you today. But does it give the teacher an opportunity to defend themselves? Do you really know what a good teacher is at this time, or will you know what a good teacher is once you're displaced from this scenario? 10 years from now, you look back and say, oh, he or she was great, or he or she really wasn't that good. You know, and I bring back the discussion I had a grade 9 science teacher who at the time was so strict and so drill sergeant-y that I couldn't stand it at the time. But looking back now, he taught me work ethic. He taught me how to study. He taught me how to make study notes. And see, the internet was really intended to democratize the world. Now we get all this information. People become more educated, make more educated decisions, unfiltered. Now, some would suggest that it's not necessarily the information superhighway, but it's the global super shopping mall. So I struggle with the internet. Does it inform and democratize? And is it a way for the working class or for the people to challenge the bourgeoisie, to challenge the ruling class, to challenge the power structure that exists in society? This is very Karl Marx-esque. So, have you ever downloaded music illegally? Have you ever watched a pirated movie? Have you thought about the consequences that brings about? The artists, the industry loses money. But on the other hand, are we saying to the music companies, the movie industry, that these products, they're too expensive? So this is a way of society, of the working class, to fight back. Or are we hurting artistic geniuses by not providing them with enough income? Well, maybe the top tier income people like a T Swift, like a Justin Bieber, they have enough, and this isn't really hurting them by downloading the latest Bieber song. Or are we hurting the artists that don't go mainstream? Have you ever posted pictures that you think are funny, but are actually compromising the integrity of someone else? I've been guilty of that. I think it's hilarious, but what does that do to that other person? You see, when we're posting online, we don't have an ethicist looking over our shoulder. And see, this comes back to the social psychology ideas of inner and outer containment. So outer containment is the idea that you have teachers and police forces, and I guess even your parents, looking over you, and you don't do something because you have people saying to you that that's not right. That's not, you can't do that. It's illegal. It's immoral. You have outer sources making judgments or kind of keeping you in check. And then there's the inner containment. That's your sense of morality, your sense of ethics. And so why is it easier to avoid doing work for an e-learning course? Because you don't have the outer containment of me seeing you every day, telling you need to hand this in. You can kind of hide behind the anonymity of your e-learning student identity. Really interesting. So do you feel less accountable because you can kind of hide behind a computer screen and you're not face to face with a teacher or a principal? When we post on the app, on this new app, relatively new app, Yik Yak. So it's gossip, it's rumors, it's innuendos, it's insults, and it can be right out lies. They go unfiltered. And with the anonymity that these posts are made, you're really unable to see the consequences that it has on the victim. And did the company that developed Yik Yak, was that their intent, or did they just want to make a free or a sounding board, a community board to promote community events, to democratize the world? This is a way that you can get your feelings out about social issues, about community events. What was the real motivation for developing these kind of online communities? And then there was a very interesting case in Tokyo. I guess this man had developed this avatar, and or a role-playing character, and this was in Tokyo, and his wife went in using his username and password and deleted everything, essentially killed his avatar, his online presence. And I don't know what site this was used at. She was put in jail. The police charged her with illegal access and manipulation of electronic data. Actually, sorry, she wasn't put in jail. She was fined $5,000. But was that enough for a virtual murder? I don't know. What about Minecraft? So I haven't played around with it a lot, but I think the possibility is in there. You can go and build this online community with your online avatar, and I think you can go in and delete or terrorize or vandalize other people's communities. Does that teach social responsibility because you're impacting someone else? Or is it just kind of a free-for-all? See, there's more questions than answers. But I just want you to reflect, and maybe you'll question the next time you post on Yik Yak or Ask.fm or even ratemyteachers.ca. I mean, and should all professions have this form? I think there is a Rate My Doctors. With TripAdvisor, we are rating the service of hotels and restaurants. That does help me make informed decisions, I suppose. But what does it really do? Is it a productive action? I don't know. Does the internet democratize the world? Or has it really played with our ethics and compromised humanity? I'll stop there. Thanks for listening.